I want to ask you guys, I want to ask each and every single one of you something. And I want y'all to be honest with me, and I want you to go into detail why you believe this. Do you believe in UFOs? You know, unidentified flying objects. Because, you know, occasionally I like to go here on YouTube, I like to surf, you know, various web pages, and I found an interesting channel of this guy. I think his name is Von Helton.
My God, he actually spelled my name right. Well, wonders never cease. I've got a message for all the scumbags, losers, killers, and haters of this world. Evil must be punished. Since we're on the topic of UFOs, just last night, the Vatican says alien existence wouldn't contradict the Bible. This is from the Oklahoman, certainly not a bastion of conservatism, nor a freaky website, weirdos, kooks, whatever. Vatican City. Believing that the universe may contain alien life does not contradict the faith in God, the Vatican's chief astronomer said in an interview published Tuesday. Reverend Jose Gabriel Funes, the Jesuit director of the Vatican Observatory, I believe I pronounced his name correctly, was quoted as saying, "The vastness of the universe means it is possible there could be other forms of life outside the Earth, even intelligent ones." Well, duh. How can we rule out life may have developed elsewhere? Funes said. Just as we consider earthly creatures as a brother and a sister, why should we not talk about an extraterrestrial brother? It would still be part of creation. Well, that's correct. In the interview by the Vatican newspaper L'Osservatore Romano, I think I pronounced that right, Funes said that such a notion doesn't contradict our faith, because aliens would still be God's creatures. Ruling out the existence of aliens would be like putting limits on God's creative freedom, he said. The Bible is not a science book, Funes said, adding that it believes the Big Bang Theory is the most reasonable explanation for the creation of the universe, but he said he continues to believe that God is the creator of the universe and that we are not the result of chance. So, there you go. That's out of the Vatican. And of course, there is a flurry, an absolute flurry of activity out there. Britain has just released their UFO files, and as soon as that pops up we will see it. There it is. Okay, this is from the Independent. The truth really is out there as Britain's X-Files are released by James McIntyre. Her Majesty's government may have concluded in '79 that it has never been approached by people from outer space, but the current Pope is entertaining the idea of aliens. That was the bizarre clash of opinions that emerged this morning as thousands of pages of Britain's X-Files were released by the Ministry of Defense in a move brought about by a deluge of Freedom of Information requests by UFO conspiracy theorists. The 160 files, first 8 of which, covering 1978 to 1987, are published today. Throw up no saucer and a hanger smoking gun in the skies, expert said last night. However, the papers viewable on National Archives' website do show that officials conducted a full investigation into every claimed sighting until the 1980s. The files, one of which is more than 450 pages long, shows that since the 1950s, thousands of seemingly ordinary people have claimed UFO sightings in the country. This is all coming to a head, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it's coming to a head. The Vatican, bless their pea-picking little hearts, is hedging their bets in the hopes that the existence of extraterrestrials will not hurt the Catholic faith. The truth of the matter is that really it shouldn't, but it may and invariably will. I know that didn't make grammatical sense, but let me explain. You have extraterrestrial beings. It stands to reason that perhaps these extraterrestrial beings would have a religious belief of their own, a deity, if you will. I would think that would be logical. But considering the fact that there is billions, literally billions of planets, very, very similar to Earth, that exist out there in the universe, it stands to reason that there very well could be other life. There's no question about that. The numbers speak for themselves. Just in this galaxy alone, there is at least several million planets that are almost identical to Earth. Okay, we call it Class M. And yes, I know I'm stealing that from a Star Trek show, but I don't give a shit, personally. That's a good enough reason for me. It works, and that's what I'm sticking to. But no, you have Class M planets like Earth elsewhere in our own galaxy. Now, of the expanse of the universe, there must be billions, if not trillions, of other galaxies. Ergo, it stands to reason that if at least one planet in those galaxies exists, you have billions, with a B, of planets similar to, if not exactly like Earth. There's just no getting around it. The numbers speak for themselves. We're talking about huge, huge amounts of numbers here. And so no, the answer to the question is rather obvious. Of course there is. Of course there are UFOs. Of course there are aliens, extraterrestrials. Now the question is, can they get here? Well, considering the fact that we're working on warp drive, the U.S. Air Force is actively seeking warp drive as we speak, and has been since 2007. I think it stands to reason that if we're messing around with warp drive, what would somebody with a superior technology already have? And then, of course, you can also access wormholes, possibly even access rips or tears in the fabric of time-space, which NASA has now admitted does exist. Just these large rips in the fabric of space itself, where there is nothing, absolutely nothing. No stars, no light, no gases, no particle matter, nothing. It's just a void. And I did a video on that, as a matter of fact. And so it's feasible, at least in theory, that perhaps these voids might allow a faster mode of travel. Instead of taking light years to go from the Andromeda Galaxy, may only take a few minutes by simply accessing one of these voids. Who knows? It's all theory and speculation in a large extent. However, to say that it isn't feasible or it isn't possible, well, that's just patently absurd. We now have proof that wormholes are real, they exist. We now have proof that these voids in space exist and are real. And some people even theorize that if it were possible, a passage through a black hole might shorten the distance between galaxies. So there's a lot of theories out there, and all very credible, all very good. And so, yes. Of course, now we have the Disclosure Project, where we have literally hundreds of professional individuals working for the military, working for the government, big business, finance, all coming forward, astronomers, all coming forward saying, oh yeah, not only do UFOs exist, not only do extraterrestrial aliens exist, but they're here, and have been here for quite some time. At least the 1940s, maybe even before then. And if we look through history, we can see where actually we've been visited by extraterrestrials all throughout human history. If for no other reason than to simply observe us. Of course, some of these extraterrestrials are benevolent. Some of these extraterrestrials are malevolent. In other words, dangerous, a threat. We have to determine which ones are nice, which ones ain't, and proceed accordingly.